Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Beauty with a Twist. I'm super excited for this week's episode because we have a special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Lori Nestori. I am owner of Eva's Aesthetics with the brands 2L and Baradin, and I am the OG wax queen. The first. Anybody wants to challenge me on it? I'll meet your ass outside.
Do you guys know, I'm literally shaking in my boots right now because you're here.
I am here.
Literally.
I am.
You tell them where you came from. Tell them.
So, well, do they all know where here is, though, when you say?
Rancho. They know.
Okay, Rancho Cucamonga. So I drove from Chino Hills. It was just about 40 minutes. I have a house in Chino Hills and a house in Oakland. So I'm here for a couple of weeks, and the timing worked out.
Yeah, especially because I was like, I needed to reach out to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it
worked out.
It worked out.
Yes, it was meant to be.
So tell them who you are. Tell them.
Okay, it all began.
We know who she is already, but come on.
All right. So the story of, and the reason that I know I can claim that I am the OG wax queen, I have been waxing since 1973. I actually know the year. Yes, I'm not fucking old. Okay. I know the year because my family had a beauty salon. My dad was a hairdresser. My mom wrote the curriculum for the state board to get aesthetic licensing passed as a separate license. So I grew up in the salon. So when I was in high school, my family's salon was a 4,000 square foot day spa with 10 facial beds.
Wow.
And 45 employees and. And at some point, again, in high school, it was 1972, actually, I said to a girlfriend, oh my God, I found out you can get wax and muslin and pull your hair out. So we went to the grocery store and got canning paraffin, to the fabric store and got muslin. In case anybody has ever wanted to try it, canning paraffin only sticks to your skin. It doesn't stick to the strips. It doesn't stick to your hair. Just your skin. So we put it on our legs, no luck. Then we put it on our crotches, not on the Brazilian, it was hell. Anyway, there I am like, Mom! And she says, okay, not that kind of wax, Lori. So that was my first wax experience, but I started playing with it in the salon. And we worked out of crock pots, hard wax with our hand. So we would pick up wax with our hand, spread it, and you'd have residue, you'd wait, and then you'd press and pull the strip off.
Kind of like sugaring in a way?
Well, no, because sugaring
Yeah, but it sticks to your...
Yeah, but sugaring is a flexible, and this was a wax that if you waited that much too long, it would get brittle and break, and you'd have to pick it off your client, which a lot of waxes still get brittle.
Yeah.
But if you wait too long. We have a skincare line. And when I went to work for my mother, I was 30. And I was, a super wild child. And she used to say to me, you're the one most likely to take over my business. But right now I'm partying, Mother, and it's going to take me a long time to stop. So I finally went to work for her when I was 30 and went to a trade show, and it was just the funniest thing. It was a skincare trade show. We had one little pot because nothing had arrived. And so I did little hand demos all day and sold a shit ton of wax and thought, okay, this is easy. I had whittled down what waxes I wanted to use at that point because she had 4 brands in her training facility. Mm-hmm. She'd gone from salon owner to manufacturer of skincare to advanced training. So we were doing advanced training, and I had gotten rid of every wax but one brand. And it wasn't Baradin because Baradin wasn't born yet, right? Mm-hmm. So I was just using one brand, and then I got really good. And I don't care about hurting people. It's one of the things about if you want to be good at waxing. I mean, there will be those of you that think that's just not nice. Well, I'm not. I'm not nice.
I don't think there should be a waxer then. What are you doing?
Trying to get an injection of your blood drawn from somebody that's timid and afraid to hurt you. Let's just do it, please. Okay. Get it over with and do it with authority, and then you'll hurt me less. Mm-hmm. So the woman that is responsible for creating the great big skincare trade shows, the Las Vegas show, her name is Magda, and she asked if I wanted to teach a wax class. That was 39 years ago.
You're joking. Wow.
Yeah, 39 years ago. I know. How does she do it? Okay. Surgery, bad attitude. And I did a wax class, and I'll never forget. There was about 75 people in the class, and I have it figured out. I've never had stage fright. That was never an issue.
Yeah.
And I just asked, my first question was, who here is familiar with waxing? And almost every hand goes up. And inside my heart, I have this little moment of, oh, hell, what can I tell them? And really what I found out was that it doesn't matter. People don't know. They don't know. Over the years, I would have somebody say, I've been waxing for 20 years, but you still suck. So why don't you just pay attention and listen to what I'm telling you? And maybe you could wax for 21 and have one good year.
Down.
And that show, and it was it Long Beach or Las Vegas? Anyway, it was at that show. It was Long Beach because she started Las Vegas by doing a little offshoot skincare show at the hair show. So that's how that started. But anyway, she gave me an award for teaching a class, and she said, and she is the wax queen. I am.
And that's how it came.
And that's how it came. And that was 39 years ago. 39 years ago.
So then after that happened, you just decided, okay, this is going to be my name. And then you just started doing more classes, or you just kind of felt like, was it kind of like not an adrenaline rush, but you like that itch of like teaching, or was it?
No, I am more a show person than I am a teacher. Mm-hmm. And I know that my educator is like my mother. She's more like my mother than I was when it comes to being an educator. Mm-hmm. They're passionate about teaching people. I am passionate about people learning how to make a good living. I am more interested in teaching people how to make money and understanding where the money comes from and how to buy a house and send your kid to college and go on a vacation and buy a car, all of those things that money gets you more than, it gets you peace of mind and then fun shit.
Yeah.
Right?
So more of the business then?
So for me, because I am such a stage person, for me, what I liked was being on stage and being on platform and mm-hmm. being able to shock and horrify people and pulling hair out of unsuspecting bodies in front of God and everybody. And it was also very exciting to start selling a product. And again, it wasn't Baird and it wasn't mine at that point. I was selling another brand and just growing the sales in what was a tiny company at that point. Mm-hmm. And I actually did hands-on classes every single month. I went to every beauty school that I could drive to up to 4 and 5 hours away and did classes. I just did a ton of teaching, hands-on, and then all of the trade shows, and just kept doing it. And then one day I thought I'm going to make video. And it was funny because I had actually never made a video and hired a videographer, got a model, and it was before the Brazilian. So I got it all set up. And of course, I've never done a video and I'm still going to direct it.
Yeah.
And then and the videographer says, "Oh, I wish you wouldn't have worn that." Well, this is what I'm going to wear. So how about you just get behind the camera and I'll tell you action.
So wait, did you were still selling this brand?
Yes.
While you were making
and I never mentioned its name. I never branded it. I just taught how to wax.
That's great because you didn't want to give them.
I never even thought about it. Honestly, it was such a funny thing when I went back. I never even thought about that aspect of it. And then when the Brazilian came out, and I did the first Brazilian class. I mean, I'm the wax queen. I know when we started waxing crotches that I was going to have to teach the world how to wax a crotch, right? Because I'm the wax queen. So I went to the trade show. It's time to bring on a Brazilian class. And I actually had a model that I brought with me because I wasn't sure at that point I could get somebody out of the audience to come up and drop trowel, spread their legs on camera, right? Take off your clothes and get on the table. And so I would bring a model with me. And the name of that class was Nook, Cranny, and Crack Wax class. And it was just funny as hell because people were interested, horrified, shocked, embarrassed.
And it was just Neil who was like, what the heck?
I'm just teaching you how to do it. I mean, I wrote an article. I got asked to write an article for one of the trade journals. And when I wrote it and it was about the Brazilian wax, they were horrified and declined the article.
They didn't ever post it, or no, they never.
They not only didn't publish it, they actually said, we are kind of offended. And I am not a bridge burner, but I promise you that for the next 5 years, in every which way, but actually telling them to fuck off, and I was fucking right. I said, how about that article you never published? Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So
you never mentioned the wax's name. When did Bearden come into place? Like, when did you say,
so this
what?
Is right. So I was somewhat unhappy with the importer of the brand that I was using. I wasn't protected at all. And I was probably 60 to 70% of their sales. So they had a bunch of distributors. I was 10 times bigger than the next one. Mm-hmm. And I did all of the classes at the shows. People thought I owned the brand. I mean, that because I just did a lot of it. And one day at a show, there were other booths that had the same brand, and the other booths would just undersell me. And so I will never forget, I went and talked to one of them, and I said, if we are all going to be here, why don't we all come together with a show special so that we can mirror each other's show price? And he was just a supreme dick and said, you can do whatever you want, and I will as well. And that was it. I had it. And I called somebody who knew somebody who actually has a wax manufacturing lab. And I went with the owner who had just sold the company of the brand I was using. I went with him to a new lab, and we created Bearden. And now I got to be an owner.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then now you're like, fuck off. Man.
I know. What you got now, biatch. Yeah.
So then you had your wax brand. Then did you went into your skincare line? Or
No, the skincare line had always been.
Oh, so
my mom started the skincare line.
So it was been
1979. Our skincare line was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
And look at how many.
Yeah.
Wow. So you kind of put them together then in your videos, because now did you put them how did you kind of
Well, it's always been separate. I think one of the things, waxing is so immediate and fun. You can be super animated about it. Skincare is much more, it's not that it's refined, but it's, you're not talking about ripping hair out of people's bodies. I think skincare actually can net you more income than waxing.
Really?
Yes.
Yes, I do. Price reads?
No, it's not about prices.
What is it about?
It is that you have sales. And waxing is only labor.
Unless you come out with your own brand, right? Not even?
No. When you do, and I'll just throw numbers out, regardless of if this is your number that you charge, I don't even care. I'm just playing with numbers. let's just say you charge $100 for a facial,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes you an hour and a half on the books, an hour to do the treatment, 15 minutes on either side. And then on top of that, you have $100 in sales.
Okay.
Well, the sales wasn't labor intensive. And let's just say at some point, it's not that it wasn't labor intensive. There was zero labor.
Yeah, because you're just selling them the product, right?
Yes. So your gross take was $150.
Mm-hmm. And then your net.
No, your gross take is $200. And then from there, for the retail product, it's 50%, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, so I know taking people from being a waxer to being a skincare technician, it's a transition of you're used to generating the money, but you'll make more doing skincare if you do your job right. And that is knowing your numbers. It's such a funny thing because I was very much a late bloomer in life when it came to caring at all about business. I mean, it already told you.
Yeah.
I was the party child, right? And when it came, like, I would never have known that I was interested in numbers. And in our business, some of the reasons that people fail are because they don't care about the numbers. And I'm not saying you have to become fascinated or interested, but they're part of being in business for yourself, right? You're an owner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you don't know that 85+% of your clients are returns.
Yep.
Yeah. If you don't know your sales to service ratio, if you don't know your cost of this place, all of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And women, our business is primarily women, predominantly women. You know, every now and then there's a Christian. Every now and then there's a guy, right? And we say things that are self-defeating, and I just want to beat people. We say things like, I'm not good at math. Well, who the hell is? A mathematician is, a scientist is, sometimes engineers are. They all use a machine to do. We don't do math by hand. Who's good at math? Yeah. So stop saying it. Women say things. They vocalize things about themselves that's super self-defeating. Yeah. I don't like paperwork. Who gives a shit? You want to be in business?
Yeah.
You want to buy a house? Then you figure it out.
Can I just tell you that when I first started, I was making this money, right? And I was making really great money when I started working from home. I didn't have rent.
Right.
I was obviously working from home. But then I started seeing, where is this money really going?
Right.
You know, and I would check my bank account and it would be like really big, and then it would go down. I'm like, what the hell am I saying? You know what I mean? And I didn't realize what I was spending on, especially like products wise. I was overspending. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then I started learning my numbers, and that's when I especially when I got my salon.
Yes.
I sat down and I put all my expenses, and I wanted to see what am I taking home.
I actually have a profit loss spreadsheet that I teach our clients how to use. And part of that profit loss spreadsheet, because I don't care what kind of accounting system, if you learn how to do it manually, you'll understand your software. You'll understand QuickBooks. And it's so easy. It's so freaking easy. Yeah. You just have to learn how to do it. But the whole thing about cost of goods, cost of products, if you're over 10%, if your back bar usage is over 10% of what you generate in services, you're either using too much product, not charging enough, using the wrong product line for your price point. Like, those are the things.
Yeah.
And you have to know it.
You have to. And that's what I'm saying. And then there's a lot of products and product lines that I know that my clients won't purchase. It's just going to be too expensive. So why would I bring it?
Right.
If I know what.
Why would you invest in it for it to sit on the shelf?
Exactly. It's just, I'm losing money by it just sitting there. So I know what line of products works for my clients. And I know that it works because I believe in it, and they come back for it. So they're repurchasing it every time they come.
Yes.
And honestly, I really do make great money
Mhm.
on retailing.
Yeah. And retailing is people that are good at retailing survive economic crashes. People that are not, do not. During COVID, my clients, my professional clients that were good at sales almost made more money.
Retailing.
Mm-hmm. And they weren't doing services.
That's crazy.
They had 2006, 7, 8 was a crash for the salon industry. My clients that are good at retailing had their biggest growth. Biggest growth. Because a client, if you have a good relationship with a client, they'll tell you, my income has changed, I've lost my job, like any kind of that stuff.
Yes.
And so what do you think I should do? Get products, get facials twice a year instead of every month.
Yep.
And then you still build. Yeah.
And that's true, though, because they'll tell, and, a lot of our clients, they express, obviously, we're their therapists, so they're going to express what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of have to be like, okay, we have to understand them, too.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to keep that client.
Yeah.
By you saying, you know what, let's do this instead. I know that you're
Mm-hmm.
struggling. I know that you mentioned this and this and that. So even if you show an ounce of care.
If you listen to them, because I personally am really, really good at sales. I never want to sell something to somebody that they won't use, aren't comfortable buying, even if their skin needs it. If they're not the type to use it, I don't want to sell it to them. I don't want it sitting on the shelf. Mm-hmm. If they're uncomfortable buying it, but I push it because I'm good, they just won't come back. It's really simple.
Yeah.
I have always said that the greatest thing about our industry is that you really do have to be authentic or people will just go away. You can't rip people off. They won't come back.
Yeah, well, why is our fucking industry so boring sometimes, You go to the cosmetology side, and I mentioned this with Christian, too. We go on the cosmetology, it's all lit.
It's a party.
It's a party. And then you come to our side, it's fucking sad. It's depressing. It's gray. It's literally...
I think because people got too serious about it and they went to white coat, black smock instead of black eyeliner.
Yes. No, that's true.
Yeah. And because you have so much more. So the hairdressing side is artistic. The aesthetic side is mother mentor. It's caretaker. You have artist and caretaker. They're all bad at business. They all suck. They do. I mean, it's why something like 95% will not be in business, will not be using their license 3 years after they get. It's like 95%. So it's also why when you go to a bank, if you're a self-employed cosmetologist, the banks won't.
And I learned that.
You did. They don't like you.
Yeah.
Even if you prove your income. And it's good. My oldest sister's been dressing hair for, 50 years, if I've been in it this long. She still dresses hair. And I remember her saying, I'm in the top 3% of female wage earners in this country. And they're going to look at me with disdain. Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
They seen what I was bringing in, but it was like, it's not.
Yeah.
You
because
ain't shit,
you're not on the corporate level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that? Like what they see. And
because if it was a man, they'd be all about that. Oh, what a good boy you are. Come on now.
Yeah.
We really are not that far advanced.
Yeah. And I just feel like this, when I went to the show in Vegas, I was saying in my last podcast, I just felt like not, when I was interviewing people, it was kind of like, like stank face, attitude. And I was just like, what the, what has this industry, like, because when I first went going to the shows, it wasn't really it wasn't like that, it's just.
So here we are, we're doing a podcast, social media. Having gone through as many years of business as I have, I think one of the differences that social media has brought has been that attitude. I know that some of my employees that I wanted to go sniff around, like some of the biggest wax classes were, some of the biggest attended wax classes were by TikTokers that had big followings. Shitty technique, shitty products. And I'm not talking smack about somebody that has a lot of followings. Like, that's not it. But it doesn't make you all that.
Yes.
You're going home to live with your mother still. Driving a piece of shit car.
Can I tell you something? I feel like when people say, "Oh, I have this bunch of followers," your followers are not your clients, so that you're not bringing. That's not
paid?
Yeah, that's not sure. Some people could say that they have tens and thousands of followers, but what does their bank account say? What is
exactly?
What is the client? Do they have clients? Are they getting booked? Are they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can have 100,000 followers, but how many clients are you taking a day?
So what?
How much are you? You know what I mean?
I remember when TikTok first hit the scene, I was involved with a retail product line that Eva's Aesthetics founded, and then we separated and it sold. And one of the marketing people from that other line said, "Lori, your personality is kind of perfect for TikTok." And I used to do service of the month. I did it for 1 year. It was the beginning of the month, and I just would do some service of the month, and it was always wax your ass. Every single month it was wax your ass. So I did this whole Julia Child thing with a pumpkin to wax your pumpkin's ass for Halloween. It was a hit. It was a one take. I am a one take person. You know, when you said we're on, I'm like, I don't care. And Benedict, one of my employees, I said, "Here, I want you to film this." And he was dying behind the camera. I didn't run through it. I just did this whole thing. And so I thought, okay, I don't know. I signed up for TikTok, put it on TikTok, and had 1.5 million views in 24 hours. And it was like, what the fuck is this?
You were waxing a pumpkin's ass? Is that what?
It was my service of the month. And then for November, my service of the month was wax your pumpkin's ass. I mean,
oh my God,
every month I did some kind of wax your ass.
How did you come up with this?
I don't know. But yeah. And I think I only did 10 or 12 TikTok posts. I have 28,000 followers. I never do a thing. It's not my style. Like, it has to. I am not a social media person in that I can have an idea, plan it out, and film it. I did all of my original filming of not the videos that I sold, but all of the stuff for Instagram and stuff on my iPhone. I would just set it up. And I still think it's some of the better filming stuff. The quality is not as good, but the content is fantastic.
So them teaching it was just overall good, but it wasn't just the way it looked, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you could certainly get much better.
Hey, look, because your old YouTube videos,
they're fantastic,
amazing,
and they were with my phone.
Amazing.
I would literally just set it all up, get the thing there, go and do a thing, check it out, and I am a one-take person.
That's how I learned about you, was through school.
Well, when I made the whole ball of wax, it was VHS DVD era.
Stop.
No. We did it in 2 days. We did every damn body part on all genders. Toes, balls, everything. And when I first got it in my hot little hand, I mean, I went to the Chicago trade show, big show, and I brought with me something like 100 VHS and 100 CDs, DVDs, and I gave them to every instructor that I met to help them teach waxing.
No paid, like you didn't.
I gave them away, and I just figured this would help you teach waxing.
Yeah.
And what I did not realize was that it would then make me famous.
Well, yeah, look what just happened to you today.
I know. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I really didn't realize that wasn't my motive whatsoever. It was like, this will help. And then the next show I went to, I was walking down the hall and this girl comes walking down. She goes, "Oh my God, hi." And I said, "Well, hi." And she said, "Oh, I don't know you, but I saw your video." Yeah. So what she's referring to, what happened today, is I went in to get waxed and there was somebody holding the door of the building I was going into, and they used my products at her school, and she recognized me and came into the girl that was waxing me and said, "What's the name of your next client?" It was very cute.
How did you feel about that? How do you feel when you kind of get noticed? You're
well, because I'm on the downside of that. When I was going to the shows and doing all of the classes, there was a time in my life when I would take pictures with a bunch of people. And I remember the first time a couple of guys from the office, the couple of warehouse guys came from the office to do the grunt work of the show. Mm-hmm. And I'm standing in the booth and about 5 girls walk by and they go, "Oh my God." And I said, "I know." And it was the first time they saw that. So I had that. And here's the funny thing. I remember saying to my nephew who worked with us for a while, I said, "I'm in the weirdest position because I go to the show, I'm this freaking rock star, and then there I am eating dinner by myself thinking, this is really strange." However, I also would be peopled out and don't want to be on stage when I'm eating dinner.
Yeah.
I just want to go eat dinner.
And that's how celebrities feel. They feel like they don't want to be...
Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want to be fucking taking pictures when they're eating. You know what I mean?
Right. So I had a lot of that. It was super fun. And it doesn't happen that much anymore. And it is, first of all, it's the sign of a confident, healthy person that I'm happy about it because my company is still going on and thriving. It doesn't need me. Mm-hmm. Doesn't need me. And that's what you want.
Yeah. I want to ask you this question. I want you to be honest with me, okay? Tell me what is taking off more for you, because is it your skincare line? Is it your waxing brand? Is it what numbers wise?
Numbers wise, we're about 50-50.
Really?
Mm-hmm. For a long time, wax was the financial support of the skincare. Mm-hmm. It was the cash flow because it's a quick turnover.
Yeah.
Skincare, if we talk, because my customer is the professional, I don't retail. Mm-hmm. I sell to the end user, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're talking about wax, somebody can come to a trade show and look at it and test it and make that decision. When it's skincare, it's a 3-month, 6-month, 1
tested.
year. It's a much longer decision. Mm-hmm. And it's also such a different business. And the thing that we do when people invest in our skincare line, nobody else does. Nobody does. Because we go to their salon and help them set up their space and teach them the language of success. And that literally means we bring in models that are their clients or clients to be, and we have a script for them to do a consultation. We teach them what to say during a treatment, and we teach them how to conclude after the facial, complete with selling products and rebooking them.
That's great.
We teach them profit and loss. We do their filing system with them. We get rid of all the shit they don't need in the salon. I can't even tell you how much stuff people will bring into their salon and all this cute shit you've got all over the place. I mean, a client needs to walk into your place of business and know what your focus is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
And if you have scarves and tchotchke and crap, that is a one-time purchase. Mm-hmm. Skincare and body care is a repeat purchase. People have a finite amount of money. You actually want them to spend it on something that they will buy again.
Again, yep.
They can buy a scarf somewhere else.
Yeah. So and then going back, the waxing, it's a turnover. So it's just.
So our skincare wax is now about 50-50 in the company.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
And you don't do anything, right? You're a.
Well, let's see.
Tell me what your day-to-day looks like.
Because I have really, really great people in place, I have a lot of autonomy. I still see almost all of the info emails.
Yeah.
So I can still see what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of
and
course.
It's so funny when I go into the office and they know that I'm.
Do they say, oh my God, she's here?
No, they love it.
Oh.
We have a great place. I spoil the shit out of my employees.
They're not like, oh my gosh, she's coming.
Oh,
you guys,
no.
stay in place.
No. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, we had a meeting because of a slight change going on at the company. When I went into the warehouse, they were worried. No, I'm still going to be here like I am, which is not a whole lot, but I'm a great boss. I am a great boss. It was a hard lesson. It was hard to learn how to be a boss. It was my instinct at first was to the language we use, which I've always been really strong on languages, right? Can you do me a favor? Well, they're not doing me a favor. They're on my payroll.
Yeah. So you had to learn how to.
I had to learn how to speak to people's style of learning, because somebody that doesn't process data the same way I do won't learn the same way I will.
That's true.
And I remember teaching somebody that was now a new owner with employees. And I said, I don't care how you feel about this, but you take a broom and you tell your employee, I'm going to show you how I want you to sweep this room. And you sweep the room and you say to them, show me how to sweep the room. And then a couple days later, you say, would you mind sweeping the room for me? Make sure they have power and knowledge to make a decision to do the job correctly. That took me a long time to learn.
And you know what? You saying that, I'm just thinking like my assistant, she's been working with me for 5 years. And it's like, I had to learn how to adapt to her language.
Yes.
And it's so true.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
It doesn't matter what we think.
Yeah.
We want a job done a certain way. If we think this is the right person in our life, then we have to empower them. And that is speaking their language to understand what we want.
Even though we don't speak that. Like, because when I first, I was very kind of thorough. I wasn't a bitch, okay? But my other two ex-assistants said, oh, yeah, she's a tough one. She's, but it was because I don't know. I like certain things, certain ways,
Which we are entitled to.
Yeah.
As the owner, what we're not entitled to do is abuse people, treat them bad, talk to them badly.
Of course.
That's kind of the obvious, but the rest of it, I think more what I did is I would say to somebody, all right, here's a project I want you to do, blah, 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 blah. And they would say, because they were a little intimidated or scared. And I would go, because I'm not a micromanager, so I would go back too long and I would say, all right, show me how it's being done. It was nothing at all like I wanted. And it was my fault. I hadn't made sure they knew.
That is so true.
Yeah.
And I don't micromanage my assistant because I just can tell that, she's been here for 5 years. She knows what
she doesn't need it.
She doesn't need
it.
But like you said, I had to adapt to her.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I had to bite my tongue sometimes. But it was just because she's such a good assistant. And I didn't want to lose that.
And people are who they are. I mean, I don't care what. The only one that we really don't get annoyed with is ourselves because we're perfect.
Yeah. So now that you just take care of your brands, you get the emails, what is something that you like? Obviously, you're not in the treatment room. Are you going to come out with anything new in the future? Are you working on something? What are you doing now that you're just
Now I'm
chilling?
overseeing.
You're overseeing everything you're seeing with social media come with new. You know, I see people wax. They're doing at-home waxing kits. Sometimes I'm scared. I'm like, what if? Because the economy is
It
crazy
just makes
right
our
now.
business better. People try and wax themselves. It sucks.
Yeah, I seen this this girl on TikTok. She's the roller wax.
Yeah.
Fucking almost ripped her skin off.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah. It's pretty fun.
what are you doing? Are you going to come out with something?
We
Is there
have,
working?
when it comes to waxes, I have a theory in wax and people disagree. One of my co-partners, we talk about it on a regular basis. Because there are lots of brands out there, and the brand that I no longer sell has a ton of different colors. And so you've got all these colors of hard wax. And I think, okay, so what's the purple one for? Well, that's for sensitive skin, which is bullshit. There's no wax for sensitive skin. There's good technique. Period. There's good brands.
Yeah.
There's good ingredients. But for sensitive skin, no, sorry.
I just tell you, it's so funny that you just said that because a waxing brand that I can't say right now, but I'll tell you later. Said this, it's amazing for sensitive. And they just launched it last week.
Yeah, good. Good luck with that. Waxing for over tattoos. Waxing for men, fuck off. It's just skin with hair. Okay, God. Anyway, it's good marketing. You know, Agiline and wax, it's good for marketing. The Agiline will never get through the wax to touch the skin. So I think I have 2 hard waxes and 2 soft waxes within my brand. And the hard wax differences are very particular. One is specifically for hot or humid rooms because hard wax with good ingredients actually interacts with climate. And if you have a hot and muggy room because it's fairly small, you do a lot of facials, you don't have good climate control, my blue wax will get a little sticky. And the white wax is a quick set wax. But in a cool room, it gets brittle. So 2 very specific reasons.
Is it cream or just...
They're both hard waxes. So I just call hard and soft, regardless of cream, clear, whatever.
Yeah.
A hard wax is when you peel off.
Another one is...
soft wax is when you use a strip. With, right? And then I have 2 soft waxes, a clear gel and then a cream hybrid. My theory is, if you know how to wax, why should I come out with a different color? Why? Just because you want something new? Now, if you wanted something new, you know, we could. Oh yeah, I can't talk about that. Okay, I'll stop it right now. We already had a little bit of a tiff on Instagram. Somebody who was so utterly disrespectful of me, and I rose above that whore, and I'm staying above you. I bet you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, they know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
They're going to watch this, definitely.
Yeah. They did a window talking smack about me.
That's too much. They did not do that.
They did. And then...
On live? On Instagram?
On Instagram. And then, because I went around and found that something that I thought was incorrect, so I did a mea culpa. Okay, originally what I thought was, and I found out that it's professional. I'm so sorry. She did another window and said, and she calls this an apology. Fuck you. Yeah.
Dang.
So I won't name it because that was me rising above. Anybody that is watching this, please feel free to write in the comments that you know exactly which gate I'm talking about.
I'm after this, I'm gonna know what the fuck she's talking about.
That's right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, how did you even know that? Okay, well, let's just
because it comes to me. It comes to me. People say, "Check out what this person's saying." Oh.
And have you ever run into problems like that with other? Because you're so cool as fuck. Why would someone,
Why bother?
Yes.
I don't care. And yeah, it was a funny thing. And then we PM'd a little bit and she said, I even learned how to wax from you. Then why are you talking smack about me?
After you learn.
Yes. She also took off
please.
everybody's comments that didn't agree with her. Blocked others. We left them.
You know what I love about your brand of wax too? Like your whole, I love that it's just simple, straight to the point.
Yes.
And I cannot stand going to a show and they
There's
show
8
me
colors of hard wax.
Yes, or a skincare brand that shows me 9 different serums that do the exact same thing that one does.
Yes. I
get overwhelmed.
Always said when it comes to a new product, is it going to take the place of something? Is it going to add? Does it duplicate, replicate, or add? Like, why are we coming out with something?
Yeah.
Now, there have been times in our life where we've tried to create what I call the super serum, vitamin C, niacinamide, sodium hyaluronate, all of those, and you just can't get them in one serum with a high enough concentrate to do what each one individually can, which just works my nerves. But you can't stabilize it and all that.
Yeah, but there's brands that come out with like 10 different cleansers.
Vitamin C's.
And it's just, it's the same shit.
Yes.
And I go and I just feel, and I'm reading and reading. I'm like, this is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
For me, I'm the type of person, I'm very basic. I know what I like. And if I like it, I'm going to stick to it. And I know that it's working for me. And that's how I've always been.
So yes, we do come out with new things. When it comes to the wax, I really dig in. I really dig in and say, if somebody knows how to wax and they want to use a good Luxe brand, they don't need something new. They want something that works and is always available.
So now tell me about now that I want to know numbers. I want to talk business with you. You're a businesswoman. You're successful. I seen her fucking car outside. I'm like, oh my God, okay. Hold on. She pulled up, right? 30 minutes before. I'm over here sweating. I'm just, keep in mind, I just bought a fucking house, okay? So
look, come on. That's a big deal.
I forgot my makeup. Remember, I told you I had to go use my mom's makeup. I'm sweating over here, right? She's pulling up. She's 30. She got here before me. And then I'm just like, holy, like, anyways, I want to know your business, all about it. Did you have like, it was a straight just selling products, or were you like, when did you completely stop waxing and realized, hey, I'm just going to just sell so full on? And
right.
Because you know what? A lot of people, for me, example, I told myself I'm not going to do this forever. I'm tired. It's a lot of labor. I've been doing it, I know, 5 years.
So
oh my
what
God.
Did I say earlier?
Yeah.
Skincare versus wax.
Yeah.
Labor versus not.
And I do facials too, but I just sit down and it's more, it's, it's just for me, I just like the numbers better.
Right.
So my vision now is very different what I had the vision 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I want to be like you, chilling in my Oakland house.
Filing your nails.
That's what I want. Yes. Tell me. How can I be like you,
So a couple of things. I mean, I was extremely lucky in a lot of my financial success, I call it true luck. Worked very hard for it, but a lot of people work very hard. When it comes to Eva's Aesthetics, the fact that it is a 3rd generation company, 2 of my nephews are now owners. And that to me is the best thing ever. My mom started it. My youngest sister and I bought it from her. And now we're passing it on. And it's very, very cool to have a 3rd generation.
That's great. Amazing.
So roughly 12% of companies, family companies, make it to 3rd generation. So that is very, very cool. Yeah.
And then your wax, and it's just, you started it, so you're going to pass it on, or?
Well, the wax and the skincare, it's all under the umbrella of Eva's Aesthetics. Eva's my mother. And so that's the company, Eva's Aesthetics, DBA. The brands are 2L Skincare, Baird, and Wax. They're under that umbrella.
So do you give advice for someone to just start a skincare line, start a waxing?
You mean to start their own line, like
Yeah.
manufacture them?
Yeah.
Yes, don't do it. Why would you want to do that? Oh. God. There's a difference between private label.
Yes, because, I see a lot of people starting waxing brands now. Okay?
Yeah, well, it's private label, which is not a bad thing. But, so in the world of private label makeup, for example, somebody will say, yes, but I can, again, I'm just throwing numbers out. I can buy it for $5 and sell it for 20.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could buy a really good brand for 20 and sell it for 40, and you've made more money just because it doesn't have your. When the only reason to bring your own brand out is if you're big enough that your brand, your name carries any weight. That's it. There is zero reason to have your own brand unless you're going to franchise, which is a whole different world, or you've got, 50 employees or something like that. There'd be no reason.
And what if someone says, I'm doing this just for the money. I don't want to do the labor anymore. What should they do? Just get a salon, hire a bunch of employees?
Oh, God.
What
Can you even imagine?
No.
Where's Tabitha? She and I will sit down with that person and smack them around. People say the same thing about the restaurant business.
My mom had a restaurant.
And you know how hard it is.
Yes.
Okay, because in the beauty industry, in a service industry, I don't care what service, restaurant, spa, salon, employees are not just easy come, easy go. They're a lot of work. A lot of work. Yeah. So, yes, if you don't actually want to physically do the job, then there are ways to ease your way out of it by bringing on a person. If you have investable money that you invest in a bigger salon, I don't know, find somebody to invest in the stocks and don't do a salon. It's a lot. And I don't want to sound negative about my industry. It's my industry. I love it. But the thought of having a whole bunch of employees in the beauty industry, I'd rather hang myself.
That's why I stopped.
Jump off a damn bridge.
Yep.
Where is that overpass? I'm going.
No, I'm jumping with you.
It's a lot. It's relentless.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had employees at first, and then I could not.
It's a lot.
I was ripping my hair out.
Did I not show you how to sweep this floor 14 times? It's a fucking floor. Sweep it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you reckon? Like, do you just doing it solo and doing it that way? Do you like for me, for example, I hated having employees. I just like being solo.
Right. So the last time that I actually had a salon, 3 of my sisters and I put it together. We all invested a little bit of money, 2-room salon, because I wanted to, and it was just skincare. I wanted to practice what I was teaching the professionals. And I had 2 employees. We had 2 employees. They did not work out. They were ungrateful little hussies. I know I edited really well there, didn't I? And eventually went through a couple more employees, got rid of them. I worked there by myself a couple days a week. It was delightful. Delightful.
Why?
And then sold it.
What?
And then sold it, just 2 rooms.
Okay.
Because I was still part owner of Viva's Aesthetics.
Uh-huh.
And I learned what I needed to learn to teach people.
Why was it so delightful? Because you were just
by myself and my client.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 rooms, wax here, skincare there.
Amazing, huh?
It was great. Easy to make money because I know how to do it. Mm-hmm. I know how to sell the products, create a partnership with the client, rebook them. Yeah.
I agree. Especially having a salon now, I look at things very different.
Yes.
And it's just, for me, easier for me to have booth renters.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's a huge controversial topic because last time I mentioned this, no, commission makes you more money.
No.
Or them you paying them hourly will make you more money.
I don't want the responsibility of their ass. I just want their income. Period.
They said because, at being hourly, you'll get the full amount of let's say the facial's $100, you're paying them what, $16, $17 an hour.
As a 1099 or as a W-2?
As a W-2.
No. Yeah, no. A W-2, I mean, let's just say you pay somebody $50,000 a year. You have to pay their taxes. You have to match their freaking taxes. People that have never been a boss do not know the cost of an employee. It isn't just what they're paid. It's their taxes as well. Everything that they pay, so do we.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I know people that are salon owners that have fairly big businesses that do really, really well and they're established and all that. I just know that when I have met somebody and they've said, I want to expand, I ask them, are you looking to make the same amount of money for a whole lot more work? Are you actually going to make more money for that more work? Figure out how much more you can make and how much more it's going to cost you in labor and angst, and see if it's worth it.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
I got ate up last time I said that. I was like, listen, for me, it's been working. It pays my fucking rent.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to lie about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You bought a house.
There you go. And when it comes to the whole taxes and I had to learn the hard way again, because I went to my tax person and I go, well, you're paying this person, you got to pay their tax.
Yeah.
And
isn't it shocking?
Can I tell you? I changed everything with my assistant.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about it, but
Yeah.
I'm no longer paying her fucking taxes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. And a lot of people don't understand that part of the behind the scenes of being a business owner and going through that.
At all. And I've heard a lot of people over the years say they're only paying me 50%. Well, they're probably only making 5%.
Yeah. And why do you think this industry, like how you said, they don't use their license after 3 years?
Because I don't know if it's possible for a school to actually teach how to make a living. I don't know if that's possible. I don't think, first of all, I think the beauty industry is a self-starting industry. The only place it's not self-starting is if you are at a destination spa that just feeds you clients. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't really matter if you get them to come back or sell them products, because it's a constant turnover.
Like European.
No. What European Wax Center? It's not a destination spa.
Well, it's just wax, right?
It's just waxing. It's not destination. I'm talking like Murrieta Hot Springs.
Oh, like you're talking about Glen Ivy.
Yes, people just go for a couple of days. Yeah. Even if they go a couple times a year. They don't go every month. It's not where they live. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They go on vacation. They go to a spa at the resort.
And pay $400 for a facial. That's what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. So if you're working in that kind of thing, you don't have to be a self-starter. You just have to be good at your job and do what they tell you to do.
Yeah.
Outside of that, even if you're an employee, you have to find clients, bring them in, bring them back, and sell them products. And most people are not taught that language. Mm-hmm. I see bosses say things like, I tell my employees to offer products. Tell me exactly what that looks like. Exactly. Like, so did you want anything today? Well, I don't know. You're the freaking expert. Do I want anything today? Like,
that's not even an open-ended question. That's
there
just
is
me, I guess.
a language to me that is much more conducive to building a partnership with your client and finding out your dreams, goals, and desires and helping you achieve that with your skin, all based on the parameters of your budget and time and lifestyle. Mm-hmm. That's the real glorious way to say it. But there's a language that will make that happen. And that is what we in my company, that's what we teach. When somebody invests in the line, this is not a sales pitch. don't give a shit. Okay. But what we teach, when we teach people how to do the consultation, what to say during a facial, isn't that such a silly thing when people, you think, well, I teach my clients how to use the products. During the facial, that client is half naked, their eyes are closed. They can't focus on what you're saying.
And they're so relaxed, they're not even caring.
Why don't you just say, do you have any questions about what I'm doing? Let them enjoy their life.
Oh my God, estheticians are going to hate us right now.
That's fine. That's fine. And I know that there are estheticians out there that are nurturing, caring, loving people. You have to be good at your job. You don't have to starve. That's the thing. You don't have to be poor. If inside your head is, I don't want to be pushy, you'll never be pushy. Mm-hmm. You'll never be pushy if you don't want to be. In fact, you'll be so not pushy, your customers will buy products from someone else.
Yeah.
If you think to yourself, I feel guilty for trying to sell something, then go work at a department store saying behind the counter of any line so you can see what people will throw down for money. They will buy it from someone. Don't be pushy. Don't sell them products. Find out what their goals are, what they're using at home. Fill in with blanks to help them achieve their goals. There you go.
Period. Can we have that in a clip?
Can I get an amen? It's as religious as I get.
Give me some advice. This is my last question. Give me good advice for an upcoming esthetician that's just joining, because I see a bunch of schools. I see a bunch of estheticians coming into this field. They don't know what to expect. They don't know. They just go to school. And of course, state board has changed. I know that know. There's no more practical.
Yeah.
It's just, they're going to school and it's written test only. So they're not really learning. I know a lot of instructors at esthetician schools, they just said, okay, guys, we have 3 hours of lecture. You guys go and figure it out. So, and I don't see a lot of people teaching at schools anymore,
No, it's such a hard job.
Really?
Can you imagine being an instructor at beauty school?
No.
I am sure I'd be in jail. Every time I meet oh God, Why? Because you have classes that get along or that are total bitches. Yeah. I remember when I told you I used to go to beauty schools, right?
Yeah.
I remember being at one school and it was a class full of bitches. Every now and then there would just be one, right?
Oh my gosh.
And I remember standing up there trying to teach, and I just at some point said, my life is so much better than this, and I'm out of here. I don't have to put up with this shit.
You did not say that.
I did. I don't have to put up with this shit. I'm out of here. I hate you.
I love her.
No.
Stop.
So it is really hard to give somebody brand new any kind of sage advice. If you have the income that you can go get treatments at all of these different styles of places, if you have enough money to go get treatments, then go to a bunch of different styles of places and see which one floats your boat, and then find out how to work in that capacity. I mean, that's one thing. If you don't, I don't know.
Be honest.
You have to be a self-starter. I don't care if you go to work for a salon. You have to find your own customers. You have to get them to come back. You have to sell them products, period. It's the salon owner's job to get people in the door, and it's yours to get people in the door and in your chair. I don't care. It's your job, or you'll starve.
Yeah. I fucking hated my school.
Yeah.
I hated it.
I went to school for 400 hours and quit. And then I started working at my dad's salon illegally, doing manicures and shampoos and stuff when I was 12 and 13, fighting with the clients. I mean, I was just a little feisty.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then went to beauty school. Like, what are you guys doing? Oh my God, we don't do it like that in the salon. And at that time, you could be a junior operator and take the same test, same state board, and get your license. So it took 2 years, but I was getting paid. And that's what I did. That's how I got I'm a Cosmo.
Wow. When the hell do you see that now?
I don't think it's junior operator program. I don't think it goes on anymore.
That's why I was saying, because when I was in school, my teacher, I love her to death. She was amazing. Mm-hmm. She knew everything behind the book, nothing practical, but everything theory. Everything was, Yeah. And I love her to death. But I don't know what the fuck I was doing outside of that. Right. I had to go and, purchase a class. Yes. And they still didn't even know what they were doing. You know what I mean?
Going to trade shows are fun, but go to trade shows, leave your credit cards at home, and go into classes and see what companies you might want to work with, you might want to invest in. You like the way they talk. You like the way they think. Mm-hmm. Because classes are free at trade shows. It's a good way to start to feel out companies.
Yeah. Yeah, and this industry is just getting oversaturated. Everyone and their moms is an esthetician, cosmetology, nails, and you see 13-year-olds doing nails on TikTok better than, I don't know, there's someone that's been in the industry.
They're not making a living.
Yeah.
They're starving. But they look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see someone promoting a class and they're charging how much for the class, and class fucking sucks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people would say that about me. I used to teach waxing a long time ago. I still do one-on-ones, but I would do big classes, and it would be cheap classes, and I don't know what they would expect from an affordable class. You're not going to get a full freaking kit if the class is $500.
Right.
You're just going to get the knowledge and that's it.
The lecture demo.
What are you think I'm going to send you home with the full kit?
Right.
What am I going to walk home with?
Right.
Nothing. So now that I passed that, my classes are very different and super just, informative, but it's just me and you, and that's it.
And it's hands-on, and it's different.
And it's hands-on.
Yeah.
It includes the full kit and everything, and we learn.
Yeah.
So, but you see people coming out with ebooks, though. Did you see?
I don't even care. For a while there, when it came to TikTok, for example, I would think, I freaking hate that our industry is on TikTok. And I know that most people on TikTok are not going to be making a living. It's all bullshit. But the reality is the same percentage is going to be successful, whether they learned their trade through TikTok or Instagram or trade shows. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter where you get your information from. What matters is how you apply it and how you run your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, this is it for the podcast. I'm so happy that you came.
Thank you.
It was an honor to meet you.
Thank
the
you.
Waxing Queen, the OG yourself.
The original OG boy.
You were the funniest guest I think we've had on this podcast. Like, I'm not even joking. Everyone always watches. They're like, oh, I don't really want to say that. Or, they kind of get like, oh, shit, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
But you were just.
I really inhibited that one moment, but we'll talk. Yes, we will.
And then they'll know.
They will know. A few people will really know because it was pretty funny.
And did it go a little viral? I didn't even ask that. Did it go like a little?
I don't know. We can look it up.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, we always end this podcast with a quote, so go ahead and tell us. Did you think of anything?
So she told me this at the beginning, and I had to think, what is a good quote? Because I'm not that deep of a person. I'm just not. So
let it come. Let it come.
No, this one's actually, it's just very simple. You either, if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. Thank you. I'll be here all night.
Well, thank you so much for being on my podcast.
Thank you for inviting me.
I hope you come back.
It was super fun.
I hope Christian has something planned for me at he has his own podcast. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do something together, and I hope that you're there too, because
that'll be fun.
Us three?
Yeah, that would be
good.
Yeah. people running around with a mic. Wait. Well, thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for joining me, and then we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.